In this video, I'm going to be showing you how I guarantee a tack-sharp image every single time with this one simple trick. Now this can work on rings, food, landscapes. It really doesn't matter. It will work for whatever you want. Let's get into it. The example that we're going to be shooting today is 2 rings. Now, the main problem that we're going to have when photographing these 2 rings is that when we focus on the green part of the diamond, everything else is out of focus. So the first quick tip that I'm going to give you is no matter what lens you're using, whether it's a macro lens or a wide lens, telephoto lens, doesn't matter. They all have an aperture sweet spot. For example, the lens that I'm using is the Canon 100mm macro. And I know that the sweet spot for this lens is anywhere between f5.6 and f8. All you need to do is Google the lens you have, ask for its sweet spot, and you'll find it there.
The first thing you'll want to do is put a 2-second timer on your camera. Even though your camera will be on a tripod, this will guarantee that there won't be any camera shake when you take the photo. After making sure that your photo is properly exposed, take multiple photos of your subject. In between each shot, you'll want to select a new point for your lens to focus on. So make sure you have one photo with every part you'd like in focus for the final image. Now, lucky for us, when it comes to the editing part of this video, this is actually incredibly easy. All you're going to want to do is upload the images that you want to use into Lightroom. And from there, you can see that I've got 3 that I've chosen, which have all been taken at 3 separate focusing points. And all I've really done is added some contrast down the highlight, some very, very basic editing. So just edit one of your photos. And once you've done that, you can come over to the photo that you've edited, right click on it, and then just click copy edit settings. From there, you're just going to want to select every single image that you've got, right click it again, and just click paste settings. So whatever you edited on your first image is going to be applied to every other image. From there, if you right click it again, and this time we're going to do edit in Photoshop, and we're going to open as layers. So what you're going to notice now is we've got all 3 of our images as .tiff files lined up together. So again, you're going to want to select them all and come over to the edit tab at the very top and just click on auto align layers. We're going to keep it on the auto section here and just click OK. So now all 3 of our images are aligned together, and this is where we're going to bring sharpness to every point of the image that we want to be sharp. Because as we mentioned before, if we just take a look at this one image by itself, the stone is perfectly in focus here, but even by this part of the ring, it's completely out of focus, and this ring is just nowhere to be seen. So we're going to fix that. So going back to selecting our layers, just select one of them and then apply a layer mask, and then do it for the other one, and just leave one of them free. Then come over to your top layer and select the layer mask. Then on the left-hand side, you'll want to choose a brush. Now with your brush settings, you want to make sure that your hardness is turned down to 0%, and just choose the size that's going to be best for yourself. I'm probably going to have something in the region of about 100 pixels. And it's very important as well that the color of your brush is set to black. So now all we're really going to do with this brush is we're going to start painting out the out of focus areas of our image. Let me show you. So if we take this secondary ring here and we start brushing over, you'll notice that the image starts to come back into focus. Now, it's going to take some playing about with playing about all of your different layers, seeing what brings stuff back into focus, what doesn't bring back into focus. Play about with each layer mask, keep brushing, and let's see what happens. Alright, so after about 5 minutes of playing about with the different masking tools and the paintbrush, I've been able to wipe it out and get something that, instead of looking like this, where we've just got one point of focus, now my image in Photoshop looks like this. But we're not done yet. There's a couple of things that we need to do just to finalize this image. Number 1 is you'll notice that from the auto alignment, we've got a bit of nothingness going on here, and this very clear kind of square discrepancy that's happening throughout the image. So the first thing we're going to want to do is come and crop that out by using the crop tool. So kind of just bring that down to where the colors don't misalign. And another thing to do before your image is ready is cleaning up anything that you don't want. So one thing that I noticed with mine is that the stone itself is not the cleanest. So I'm going to spend a couple of minutes just getting rid of some of these hairs here
and some of these discrepancies that don't make it a very nice image. So for us to be able to clean up our image, the first thing we need to do is conjoin all of our layers together. So again, while holding down Control, select all of your layers and do Control E, and that will basically put them into one layer, which we can now edit. Now there's a few different tools that we can use to clean up our image. So if we were to take a look at something like this hair or this piece of fluff that's on the rock, all I'm going to do is come over to the patch tool and simply just draw around the part that I want to remove. You'll see that it's now selected a box around it, and we can drag it off, and you can see now it's completely disappeared, and we can do Control D, and that selection has gone. Another tool that we can use for, say, something very, very small like this little blob here is coming back over and using the healing brush tool or the spot healing brush tool. In this section, I might just use the spot tool, make it just a little bit bigger and press on it, and that part has just disappeared within one click. Now, another tool that's only been added within the last year to Photoshop is AI. So if we were to come over to our lasso tool and just select another portion now we don't want in the image, now in Photoshop, you'll see that this section comes up. Now, if we click into generative fill, we can type in whatever we like. So I might just type in, remove this. And by doing that, Photoshop is going to look at the image, it's going to look at what I've typed, and it's going to try and do the thing that I've asked it to do. And as you can see, it's removed what I've asked it to remove. And it even gives us 2 other bits that we can select just in case we don't like the first thing that's generated. So we can see that this is option A, there's option B, and there's option C. And honestly, they all look pretty much identical, so I'm just going to stick with option A. And now I'm just going to spend a few minutes cleaning up the rest of this ring so we've got a final product. So after doing some very basic removal work, this is the image that we're left with, something that I'm very happy with. And just remember that this doesn't just apply to macro photography like I've done today. This can even apply to landscape photography if you're going to have multiple points of interest that you need in focus. Hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. If it was a help to you, I have got a playlist right here that has all of my other tutorials. Might be worth a watch if you're looking to take your photography to the next level. But in the meantime, I'll see you guys later.